Right, so today's video is going to be a complete summer lawn care guide, going over everything you should do and why, and everything you should kind of avoid and why as well. We're going to be talking about cutting and feeding and verticutting and de-weeding and everything in between. And I want to start off with talking through the bread and butter of lawn care, and that is cutting your lawn. How often do you need to cut? How long do you need to cut? They're all important questions. The general rule of thumb is that the longer your grass plant, the less often you need to cut, and the shorter your grass plant, the more often you need to cut. If you've got a lawn that's around about 30 mil to anything higher, and that's kind of like the middle setting on a normal rotary lawnmower, then cutting once a week for most people will give you a really boss lawn. You can up it to twice a week, and that will improve the aesthetic of it a little bit, but you're not going to see a massive monumental change. It's once you get down to like 25 to 20 mil where you're really going to want to get out twice a week and give it a cut, because if you let it grow too long and you hack off a massive part of the plant, you're going to expose the part of the plant below that isn't as green as that top part of the leaf. When a grass plant is photosynthesized, and it's the top part that's going to get most of that chlorophyll production, the bottom part of the plant that isn't seeing the sun is going to be a much paler shade of green. Hence why councils like where I am at the moment, where they've let the grass go really, really long and they've hacked most of it now off, the grass plants almost look white, and that's because the base of the plant hasn't got a lot of chlorophyll knocking about, and it's a similar kettle of fish for your lawns at home too. And remember, cutting your lawn is a pruning technique. It's going to encourage growth. And another thing that's going to encourage growth too is products, putting feeds down on your lawn. But what should you use? Because there's so much stuff out there. We have granular feeds, spring, summer specific feeds. We've got liquid feeds. We've got iron. We've got weed killers. We've got seaweed. We've got magical planet juice, or whatever people might want to put down. Really, you only need one product to make your lawn boss, and two if you want to make it look like extra boss, and that's having a granular feed and a liquid feed. I use True Grass on my lawns. It's not a sponsor, it's just a really boss organic feed that encourages lots of density. The more it grows, the more you're going to need to cut, and then the more you cut, the more the lawn's going to thicken. And it's that process of feeding for growth, and that growth causing you to cut, and that cutting causing it to thicken, that helps your lawn become absolutely amazing throughout the year. If you want to enhance the colour of your lawn and turn it a nice darker shade of green, then you're going to want to have a product that contains iron, and that's often best applied using a liquid, because when you apply a liquid feed, it's absorbed by the leaf of the plant, and it's the leaf of the plant that we want to change the colour of, and that's where the iron is going to enhance the chlorophyll production within there. But with any feed, just be mindful when applying them, because things like iron will dehydrate a plant, meaning that if we go through a particularly dry spell, then you're going to want to give the lawn a water. What I would always try and aim for is to apply a liquid feed the day before we're going to have some rain, because that rain will help to hydrate the soil, which will then help to hydrate the plants and wash off any excess product that might be lingering on the grass leaf. But do you need to apply anything else? What about seaweed? Because the internet goes mad over putting it down onto your lawn. Well, I've not put a seaweed specific feed down for 3 years now, and all my lawns have tended to do quite well. The seaweed's there to enhance the microbial activity that takes place in the soil. But if you're using an organic based fertiliser like I use in True Grass, then you're already going to get the benefit of that organic matter developing within the soil. So adding additional seaweed, the law of diminishing returns, it's not really going to touch the sides of lawn improvements. Be mindful, because some seaweeds out there contain small traces of iron, and the reason why companies put the iron in is when you apply the seaweed, you get a slight green up, and people think it's the seaweed doing its thing, whereas it isn't. It's the iron within the product. So just be mindful that there are some tricks out there to make you think that products are worth buying when they might not actually be. You may be better saving your money and spending it on something different. Now, what about watering your lawn? Should you have a watering schedule this year where you water once a week or twice a week? Honestly, I think watering is the most overrated part of lawn care, and it's often where people make the most mistakes. You do not need a schedule for how often you need to water your lawn. All you've got to do is look at the forecast, watch the rain that we've got. A good rule of thumb to abide by is that for every dry week that we have, that should class as kind of one water of your lawn. However, if it has watered within that week, you're not going to need to water it unless we've only had like the tiniest bit of like drizzle knocking about. So what about verticutting then? Should we use a cartridge like this to verticut our lawns? Because lots of people online seem to use them. But all comes down to the question of why you'd want to use one. If you've got a lawn that creeps like this and it's become unbelievably thick, and sometimes when you cut the lawn, you can end up with like little ridges that stand higher than others when you're striping it like this, then that's when a verticutter comes in really handy. But you don't need to verticut once a week or twice a week or once a month. You only really need to use one as and when the lawn becomes a little bit too thick. If you don't know if your lawn is too thick, then I'm telling you now, you do not need to use a verticutter. They're far overhyped, they're far overused. I've used one on this lawn once ever, and it's been absolutely fine with just that one time being verticut. What about weed killers then? Well, you can spot treat. You can use something like Roundup with a little paintbrush or a cotton swab, and you can kind of brush it onto the leaves of broadleaf weeds, and that's going to kill them off. The same with Power Annua. Don't apply it to your whole lawn. It'll destroy everything, complete destruction. You can use weed on. Now, if you have broadleaf weeds, this will be your best mate. You can spot treat it, so just spray that weed. It'll kill the weeds, not lawns. You can see there, not lawns. Good for your lawn. Well, it's not good for your lawn. Unless you've got loads of weeds, I wouldn't spray the entire lawn. Like if they're everywhere, then yeah. But if you only have like a select few, you can just spot spray them and that'll kill them off eventually. I mean, you can pull them by hand as well, and nature will thank you for it. That's probably the most sustainable way and healthy way for your soil of getting rid of them. But if you have a creeping type of grass like this, which grows really dense, then you'll never get a broad-leaved weed again, because this lawn hasn't had a weed in 3 years. Now I want to finish with renovations, because it isn't too late to renovate. Some people think that you can only renovate in the spring and in the autumn, and that is nonsense. You can renovate any time between those two seasons. All through the summer is absolutely fine. In the UK, through summers, we have loads of rain, so the combination of the boss temperatures and the excess rain means that a new lawn is going to establish really fast. And even if you go through a warm spell or even like a heat wave, you can still renovate, because even though we might not be getting rain, you can just lash your sprinkler on, and those hot temperatures with that water from the sprinkler is going to get that new lawn to just absolutely boom. So if you've got a lawn that's looking a bit sad and tired, and you put some feed down, it's looking a bit rubbish and there's loads of weeds knocking about, then kill it off. Start from scratch. I've got loads of videos on my YouTube channel showing you how to do a renovation properly, a renovation that you only need to do once this year, and that you will not need to do again in the autumn, and you certainly won't need to do again next year, because most people don't want to renovate once or twice a year. Most people want to do one boss renovation and end up with a boss lawn that lasts for a number of years. This lawn is not the best lawn in the world, however it is far better than most lawns you see in the UK, and it was renovated 2 years ago. This is its third summer now without a renovation, and it's looking absolutely boss. All I do to it is feed it and cut it. So if you want to find out how to get a lawn like this, then check out the video that is on screen now. Give the video a like if you have enjoyed it. Follow along with more basic, no-nonsense lawn tips. There's no sales pitch here. There's no agenda here. I just want people to get a really boss lawn in the simplest possible way. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Finally, thanks for watching.